Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Ketsui Death Label. Today we're going through Hard C, and then the mode after this. Very hard? Yeah, very hard. So yeah, as always I'm going with the first ship because I'm just more used to it at this point. I mean, that's kind of what I'm going through, like all the stages with now. And yeah, Hard C starts off with this stage, and after going through this a few times, it's actually not that bad. Like, I think I'll be fully prepared for, whatchamacallit, Hard A, because, yeah, I plan to go back to Hard A and finish that off, and it was like, this stage was what was throwing me off. This is technically a mid-boss. It's not even a actual, like, well, it's not considered a full boss. I mean, I would argue this is more of a stage than it is a boss fight, but it is what it is. But yeah, after going through this a few times in Hard C, it doesn't actually feel that bad, and I actually managed to get through here on a couple attempts without any damage whatsoever. I don't recall if this was one of the attempts, though. Like, it took me a bit to get through Hard C, mostly because of the final stage, but more on that when we get to it. But yeah, to start off, this isn't all that bad. So I think I really will be fully prepared for Hard A, especially since the first two bosses for that one I don't think were all that bad. So yeah, I don't really have much to say for this right here. It's just standard fare, and see, we're already done. It's not even that long. Cool. Cool. So anyway, now we're on this boss right here. Oh, and I actually do have a list of all the names now, but I mean, you can also like sort of look at it on the little screens, the extra bonus screens and stuff. But yeah, that boss we just went through, the first one was Vinogradov. That sounds very Russian. And this one is Trafalgar. It's also considered a mid-boss. I thought this one was pretty involved. Like, this felt like an actual boss, but whatever. Well, I don't know. Its HP is melting, like, ridiculously. Alright, I can see it. Yeah, because it's already dead. Alright, and now we're up on this boss that looks really cool. Black Draft. It's considered a mid-boss, too? So Hard C is just mid-bosses and then the final boss? And the final boss of this is actually a remixed version of the final boss from Hard B, which was surprising to me because they don't really look all that similar. But whatever. I guess it does make sense because these, like, bosses' HP were melting away, so I guess that's the difference then? You're considered a mid-boss if you don't have a lot of HP? Makes sense. But yeah, as you can see, I'm doing better, but now that I'm finding out that these were all mid-bosses up until now, the fact that I was doing so well on them just makes me feel kind of bad. So anyway, this is what is considered the true final boss. The remixed version of the final boss from Hard B. Meet Evacania Doom. Final boss of Hard B was just called Evacania. So yeah, this is the Doom version of that boss, and it's rough. Like, I will admit, the only reason I beat it was because of the extra lives I got. We're just going to ignore the phone ringing, or I'll just mute the mic. Doing all I can to avoid editing this more than I have to. But yeah, I feel kind of bad for relying on the permanent life system, as much as I am, like using it like a big old crutch. But at the same time, I don't know how I would have like beaten this boss. Especially this pattern right there. That is a rough pattern. The bombs saved me, and I was actually using the bombs there, not the auto bomb. But yeah, it's just like that pattern with the little missiles moving horizontally across the screen. That's the one pattern I just don't get. This one I didn't have too much trouble with, but I don't know, I was a little paranoid and I thought I was about to be in an unwinnable situation, and that's where the bombs came into play. But yeah, Evacania, I mean, I was about to say, you know, oh, it's not that bad, but nah, I mean, it kicked my butt a few times, and I'm still kind of shocked I managed to beat it, because it was like a photo finish, as you can clearly see right now. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, this is the true final boss. It feels like it. It definitely feels like it. I was about to say, actually, did I beat it on this attempt? Because it was looking pretty grim up on the end. But, yep, success. And that was hard C, which honestly wasn't all that hard. Oh, I say that in retrospect. I mean, it did take me like about 6 attempts, but 5 of those attempts were like after I died on Evacania. I might be exaggerating. I don't think it was a full 6. It might have just been like 3 or 4. But I think I only died once before like ever making it to Evacania, and then the other deaths after that were all to that boss. So yeah, just going through all the achievements we got. I have no clue what any of these are, but hey, I got them. I got them. Wouldn't be shocked if one of them was like to get through one of those mid-bosses without taking any damage. Might as well go through this too, because, show off all I can, I guess, despite not being able to understand it. So now that we've done Hard C, we can go to Very Hard, which I somehow unlocked from Hard B. Don't question it, just accept it. Also love accidentally using a bomb like immediately when the map starts. So what this is right here is my second attempt at Very Hard. I made like, well, I don't know, I didn't make it that far on my first attempt. Wow, that boss was over already? Huh. You are a pushover, good sir. But yeah, the gimmick for Very Hard is that you're fighting all 10 bosses and mid-bosses in arcade order, with the arcade's first loop difficulty. So, like, the complete game with all the stages, or with all the levels and stuff, as this appeared in the actual arcade and other console releases of this game, you're fighting those bosses in the order that you would encounter them in those arcade levels. And because it was like a common thing with arcade games, you know, like you have a first loop difficulty, a second loop difficulty, and like difficulties beyond that. In some cases, a lot of arcades, you know, they probably felt like, oh yeah, nobody's going to make it past like a second loop difficulty. It's also sort of like how a lot of early NES games were made too. You had a regular version of the game, and then after you beat it, it's like, hey, you unlocked the second adventure, or which is just the second loop. It's the harder version of the game. Like when you beat Mario Brothers, or Super Mario Brothers 1, when you go through the game again, it's like all the Goombas are replaced with Buzzy Beetles, I believe. So, yeah, you know, there's that. So, yeah, I mean, looking back on it, considering this was just first loop difficulty, there was no excuse for me not to beat this. But the game still got the best of me. I tried. That's why I'm only showing my best attempt here. I'm going to treat this like hard A, though, and just go back and beat it on camera. Because I really think I can. Especially since I've dealt with these bosses before, but I don't know. I guess I was also still in muscle memory mode from Hard C. Also, did I mention how much I love that your bombs restock on each, like, subsequent level? That's so good for a noob like me. Plus, I wasn't even paying attention to the count. How many bosses did I beat on this attempt? I'm gonna have to go back and count. I'm gonna be very upset if I actually made it, like, to the penultimate. But I was doing well, you know, using my prior knowledge of everything up to this point. I was in a good headspace. That and the fact that I had amassed so many lives. I don't know how to feel about that being the only way I can, like, possibly beat these levels, just dying enough times to get 9 lives. But there's no shame in that. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. And that's why I think it's weird that, like, one review of this game I saw, like, claimed this to be one of the hardest shmups they've ever played. When I think that, like, permanent life system is, like, it makes this really accessible, in my opinion. Because I've never encountered another shmup that does that. Granted, I haven't played too many classic arcade shmups. But still, as far as I've seen, that's not a common practice. I mean, that's definitely not a thing in Crimson Clover, the game that will actually punish you if your computer can't run it, like, at full specs. I think I did already bring that up, but just in case, like, if your computer can't play Crimson Clover at 60 frames per second, it actually won't save your score, because it thinks you're more than likely just trying to use the lower frame rate to better dodge bullets and stuff. And I know the Toho games, those are just ridiculously tough. Not the toughest shmups, but still, like, pretty infamous for being super hard. I haven't played too many of the actual shmups, though. I've only played, like, a few Toho spin-offs. And those can range from anything from fighting games to Mega Man clones to just whatever. Yeah, I don't know what this boss is, but I really do like his bullet pattern. It's pretty. And then this bullshit happens. Tracking bullets are just, ugh, rough, yo. Past self, really? You could have dodged that. You had to use a bomb. Just listening to this music, though, it gets you pumped. It gets you ready to destroy giant ships before they destroy you. So yeah, that was my best attempt at hard, or very hard. There's going to be at least one more video of this, of me hopefully beating very hard, as well as beating hard A. I know I can do hard A. And then the mode Z after that. No promises if I'll be able to beat Doom mode, though, if that even has an end based on what I've seen. I don't know. But yeah, next time I'm going to try my best to not let you all down. So, thank you all for watching. Have a great day. And see you next time for some more Let's Play Ketsui Death Label. Goodbye.